Hello and welcome to this short introduction on the key roles and responsibilities of becoming an employer using a direct payment. We have created this information session so that you can gain some understanding of what would be involved, as we know employing a personal assistant can seem daunting at first, particularly if you have never employed before. Just so you know, throughout this information session, carers will be referred to as PAs, and there will also be links at the end of the information session which will take you to useful fact sheets and provide you with more information on each topic area. So, to start with, your funding body may set up a prepaid card, or you may need a bank or building society account so that your direct payment money can be paid into it. If you don't have a prepaid card, then you will be required to send a copy of your statement to your funder each month. It is really important that you keep accurate records for all income and expenditure from the direct payment account. As an employer, you also need to keep records which relate to your employees. This includes documents like timesheets, employment contracts, insurance documents, and even your PA's next of kin details. By keeping these records on file, it helps protect you as the employer and enables you to provide evidence just in case an employee, funder, or HMRC needs some clarification or further information about your direct payment or your role as an employer. Payroll is another employer responsibility you will have to manage. You can do the payroll yourself or use a payroll provider, or you could even use a local accountant. Most direct payment employers use a payroll service or an accountant, as it's just one less job for you to do yourself. The process of payroll involves tasks like calculating how much your PAs need to be paid and working out any deductions. Payroll duties also involve providing pay slips, dealing with statutory sick and maternity pay, if it's needed, and submitting end-of-year records to HMRC. A payroll service would be able to do all these things for you, but you would still need to make the payments to your PAs and to HMRC. An important thing to remember is that every employer has a legal duty to help their workers save for their retirement. In fact, all DP employers have to make arrangements for a workplace pension for their staff. Although this may seem a scary thought, if you use a payroll service, they can usually assist you to set up a pension for any of your eligible PAs. Employers' liability insurance is absolutely essential if you are employing PAs. As an employer, you have a legal duty to insure against accidents and injury to your PA, or accidents and injury caused by them whilst they are working for you. If you do not have insurance in place, then you run the risk of a rather hefty fine. A yearly employer's liability insurance policy is around £60. However, you'll need to seek advice on which type and level of policy is needed for your individual circumstances. Having a good, effective and workable staff rota is essential. You need to create a rota that meets your care needs and also fits within the rules of working time regulations. Employers have to make sure that their PAs have the correct rest periods, correct amount of annual leave, and do not work too many hours. Another thing to consider is the PA's hourly wage. The hourly wage has to be affordable, and you should have a comprehensive budget which shows the amount of hours you can afford each week. The government actually sets a minimum amount an employee must get paid on average for the hours that they work. This is called the national minimum wage. The minimum rate a PA has to be paid varies depending on the employee's age and whether they are an apprentice. If you employ a PA, then they will be entitled to some paid holiday. The allowance is 5.6 weeks a year, which includes bank holidays. If the PA only works casually or variable hours, then they are still entitled to this amount of holiday, but it will be prorated. When your PA is on holiday, you will probably need some cover for their hours. If this is the case, then you will need either a cover PA, or you could ask an existing PA if they are able to cover the holiday hours. Sometimes employers decide that if their PA is on holiday, then they can actually manage without their care for a short period. Or they can find cover from family members. At some point, your PA may call in sick, so it's important to have an emergency plan in place. As with holidays, you could see if another PA could cover. Although it's not always easy to arrange cover at short notice. Another option is for a friend or family member to step in and help out. When a PA is off sick, then they may be entitled to statutory sick pay, but they need to be earning over the lower earnings limit each week to qualify for this. Your payroll service would be able to help in getting this paid to them if they qualify. You may already have somebody who you would like to employ, such as a friend, or perhaps someone you know who might have experience of being a PA. If you don't have anyone in mind, you may need to advertise. This can be done through social media, such as Facebook, or you could put up adverts locally in places like shops or libraries. Independent Lives has a recruitment service that can help to put adverts on various websites, and PAs can apply through that service. You would need to put together a job description, and from that an advert can be created. You need to think about which hours and days you require support and what you would like the PA to do. When you have found the PA you want to employ, you will need to complete various paperwork in order to employ them legally. Firstly, you'll need to give them an employment contract which sets out all the terms and conditions of their employment. For example, the types of things you would include in this contract would be hours to be worked, pay rates, and holidays. This would need to be given to the PA on the first day of them working for you. Health and safety is really important, and we have mentioned taking out insurance, but it is also advisable to carry out a risk assessment to look at any hazards in the job and try to minimise these. We would advise that this is all recorded in a risk assessment document that you can obtain from Independent Lives, or your insurance provider may be able to provide one. Other safety aspects include having a DBS check, otherwise known as a criminal record check. If the PA has not had one completed in the last 3 months, then they will need to have another one done. Independent Lives can do this with your PA. You should also consider any training that might be needed so that the PA can do their job safely. There are various training services that can be accessed, including Independent Lives training service. But using your direct payment for this would need to be agreed by your funding body, so please speak to them for agreement. There are other funding streams that are available, such as Skills for Care, and Independent Lives can help you with any applications for this. You may be thinking about using a PA who is self-employed. Careful consideration needs to be given with this arrangement, as although it can seem like an easier route to take, you will need to carry out various checks to make sure they are legally set up as a self-employed PA. It is not just as easy as them telling you they are self-employed. It depends on the terms and conditions of their working relationship with you. HMRC regard most PA work as employment, and therefore very few PAs are genuinely self-employed. Independent Lives will be able to give you the information that you need should you be considering this option. If you receive a direct payment, live in an area without a local direct payment support service, or you self-fund your own care and want to employ your own personal assistant, then you may be able to receive support from Independent Lives by joining our Payroll Plus service. To join Payroll Plus, you will first need to sign up to Independent Lives payroll service. This will then give you the opportunity to purchase other direct payment support services, including employment information and advice. You would be able to call our friendly advisors who can support you with all aspects of safe employment including recruiting and advertising. If you receive a direct payment, then please seek agreement with your funding provider before purchasing this service. To find out more, visit www.independentlives.org/payroll-plus or call our friendly information advice team on 01903 219 482 extension 301. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this information. Please remember that this is not an exhaustive list of everything that you would need to do to become an employer, but we do hope that you now have a better understanding of the types of responsibilities and tasks involved in employing a PA. Please remember that there is support available from Independent Lives with all aspects of employing.
Finally, here are some comments from direct payment customers who have decided to go down the route of employing PAs. Using direct payments to employ PAs has saved my sister's life, and I'm not saying that lightly. Before I took over, she was overseen by a care management team, and things had gone massively awry. She was overdrawn, and for many years I sat on the outside, having absolutely no control over anything because no one was telling me what was going on. But direct payments changed all of that.
When I saw an armful of employment paperwork, I felt like I couldn't cope, but I persevered, and I'm now so glad that I did not give up, as now I have PAs supporting my daughter.
Being able to access all the services that are out there, like payroll, made the process so much easier.